This video is going to explain how to upload your completed performance measure forms into America Learns. That's the second step of reporting on the people and households that you serve. In your America Learns system, this is going to be your home page. That's what you'll see every time you log in. Once you have filled out the performance measure form for the households that you've begun serving, you're going to then upload the form to America Learns. Remember, you are filling out as much of the performance measure form as you can at the start of services. This is about a page and a half of the form. More often than not, the entire form will not be filled out right away since housing can take some time. It takes some time to repair a house. It takes time to build it. It takes time to find affordable housing. If they do get housed in the same month, though, that's great. You'll go ahead and fill out the entire form and upload it. But again, remember that you need to be filling out at least the first page and a half as you are seeing households. It is so necessary to stay up to date with the people you are serving and the reporting that you're doing. Our guidance for you is to fill out the form as you start services with the household, adding it to your intake process or whatever your site has you do when you start working with a client. We prefer this rather than you waiting and filling them out all the same day because it's easy to get behind. It can be a pain to go back and find all the data you need. But ultimately, it's whatever works for you as long as you're getting it done. If you find doing it on one day is better reporting for you, then by all means continue that way. The 15th of the month is the time and date you should remember to upload those reports. Of course, you can upload the reports as you go throughout the month, but at the very least, on or by the 15th of the month for the previous month, all of the forms that you have should be uploaded into America Learns. For example, October 15th is the date that you should have uploaded all of the households that you served in September. To upload the performance measure form after it's been filled out for the start of services, you will log into your America Learns account. On the left-hand menu, you'll see Add New Clients or Volunteers. You'll click that. On the third blue hyperlink, you'll see Add New or Connect to Existing Clients and Volunteers. You'll select the group Housing Services 2020-2021. That's our current program year. We're adding new households, so we'll click the second option. And a red text box will pop up, giving you some instructions on how to complete the code name or the identifier for each report. But remember, you've already done that when you completed the paper or PDF copy of the form. So our examples on the screen are for when you can use your initials and your client's initials and add those together. This is where you'll also enter if your site has its own code name or ID number, you can add that here. The most important thing about this is that whatever you enter in America Learns matches what's on the performance measure report. So the example that I've come up with and the form you're going to see me upload has an identifier of CSKB 91020. I'm going to click Continue, and a new box will pop up with the Add a New Household title. Performance Measure Form Start. This is where you'll upload the completed performance measure form, about that page and a half that we were talking about. So you can name this file whatever you want. You can name it Start of Services, or you can include the identifier name, whatever makes sense to you. You're going to have to fill out this box before you click Attach File here. So once you have that file title, you will then click Attach File here. I'm going to click this sample performance measure form that I filled out and labeled Start of Services. And you'll see it's uploaded there. There's 0 files remaining, so that means you're good to go. So you can move on to the next data entry field. This is the services start date. Again, that's with you as the AmeriCorps member. It's what should be on your performance measure form. So I'm going to click September 10th, 2020. On the form, there are a total of 1 children in the house. There's 2 adults in the household. And I'm serving this household by securing or obtaining household for the family. These are all just examples. Your households are going to look different. There's going to be different makeup. Sometimes it'll be 1 adult. Sometimes it'll be multiple. It might be 1 parent, 2 parent, multi-generational. It doesn't matter. Whatever applies to the household is what we're asking for. So once I've got all these data entry fields filled out, I'm going to click Submit. And if I have more to upload, that's great. I'm going to keep doing that. But if that's the only person I'm adding for right now, I'm going to have to scroll down, and under this Households Pending Enrollment, I'm going to click Submit for Review. If I don't click this button, all the stuff I just entered is going to be lost. You're submitting this for review, and that goes to Holly and me, and that just gives us a chance to make sure everything you have filled out is good to go, and you don't have to, take care of anything else later. So at this point, the member or the household has been submitted for review, so Holly and I will go back and fill that or approve that. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to add another identifier so I can show you where you upload once or if the household is housed. So I'm going to make up a different identifier just for the purposes of this tutorial. As an example, I'm going to do the same form. It's that start form that I filled out, about that 1.5 pages of data. Remember, this is just me filling it out again because the previous household I just entered has to be approved. So once it's been approved, all of this will be filled out when you go to upload the completed form later after the client is housed. So the client has been housed. I filled out the rest of the performance measure report with the proof of housing, the date of housing, and my signature. So I'm going to attach file here. And I'm going to say that they were housed on October 19th. And there you go. That's how you upload both reports. If you have uploaded the first page for start of services and we've approved your clients and you're going back in later to approve, or enter the completed report after they've been housed, you will follow very similar steps. You'll log into your America Learns. You'll click Add New Clients and Volunteers, and then you'll click this first hyperlink, See the Clients and Volunteers You're Connected to. And all of the households that have been approved will show up in that space, and you'll click whichever household you're uploading the full report for. I'm going to show you what completed forms look like. So you can see just a few examples. Again, this is going to look really different for you depending on the household you're working with. So just keep in mind these are examples, and it's going to look different if you're a construction member or if you're serving people experiencing homelessness or anything like that. So this is how much you're going to fill out of the performance measure form as you start serving clients, because again, we're filling this out before people get housed because we don't want to lose that data. Not everyone gets housed, and it's just good to keep up to date with your reporting. So I have filled out, my name, my service site. On this form, I've given a couple different examples of what a code name could look like. So I've got, my initials and start of services date, my initials and the client's initials, and, an expanded start of services date. As we've talked about in other videos, you can use an identifier that your site has. So that's an example of that. I've added the start of services date, the start that I began working with the client. I'm not helping the client maintain their housing. I'm helping them transition into housing. Under household eligibility documentation, I've chose that they have a copy of their SSI benefits on file at the service site. I am not including this documentation when I upload this form. I have filled out the general household information, household information with the information that's available to us and with what the household agreed to respond to. Again, you're going to allow the household to self-respond, and you'll leave the boxes blank if they decline to respond. You're not going to observe or decide for them. The rest of the form that I'm able to fill out before the household is able to be housed or maintain their housing is the additional household information, where I've added their veteran status, military status, their household income, their household type, and if they're receiving services as a result of a disaster or a pandemic. And then I've also added the services that I've provided to them so far. That's, again, all the information I'm going to fill out so far at the start of services with this household. That's what it's going to look like. That's the file that I'm going to upload to America Learns, either as I'm going through the month or by the 15th of the month. So that is that start of services form. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like once the client was able to be housed. And again, we know that's not always possible. It's not going to happen for everyone, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that we're not including the people that we have served, since our goals are to serve 2,500 people and house 1,000 of them. So this is the completed performance measure form once somebody was housed. It's got all the same information. But now I've completed the proof of housing and the services completion date, and I've signed it. So in another video is where we'll talk about what proof of housing is and what forms to use in what situations. And I want to be clear that you can use a PDF, you can use the Word document, you can print them out and write in them and upload, whatever works for you. The PDF doesn't have to be how you submit the housed report. This is just the examples that I was using today working from my laptop at home where I don't have a printer. So again, just think about the situation that applies to you and the resources for you and how you can best report and meet all of the things we're asking for. So just find the system that works for you. So with that said, that's the guidance on how to upload your reports into America Learns after you fill them out. If you have any questions on how to do this or how it applies to you, please give Holly or myself a call or check out any of the other videos that we've uploaded, and hopefully we'll be able to answer your question.